I got an email from a reader who said that she really wants to move from where she lives in Wisconsin to Florida. She's just worried about making the move, and she's really scared about what might happen, which is completely understandable. The biggest move I ever made was moving to Africa for 3 years. I lived and taught at an American school in Nairobi in Kenya. I was scared to go, but I knew it was the right thing to do. What I was scared of happening did not happen. All the things that I was worried about, carjackings, getting sick, malaria, getting mugged, getting raped, I was still single, and I knew that if I moved to Africa for 3 years, the chances of meeting someone and marrying were very small. There was a lot of things I was scared of, but the things that bothered me the most while I was living in Africa were not the things that I was actually scared of before I left. And that taught me that you can be scared of something and it can never happen, or something bad could happen and you had no idea that you should even be scared of it. So when you're thinking about moving or making a huge midlife change, know that the majority of things that you're worried about probably aren't going to happen, and other things will. And you're going to cope. You've come this far and you're going to continue to go a long way unless you let your fears hold you back. The other major move I made in my life, and something I really learned from that, was when I was 13. My mom is schizophrenic and I could not live with her anymore. I had to call social services. I talked to a social worker and I said, I've got to leave. I can't live with my mom anymore. He came and then he removed us from our home that night. And that was really scary and really hard. I didn't know where I was going to go. As an adult, you have control over what apartment you might live in, what job you might get, how much money you might earn. You have so much more control. There's so little to be scared of because you have so much control. Even though we are vulnerable and bad things happen and we get sick and of course accidents and all of that, but we have so much more control than we realize. There's also so much help out there. There's so many supports, and God is good, or the universe, or whatever you want to call it. There's something protecting you and taking care of you. Another thing that's helped me is this book called Entering the Castle by Carolyn Myss, M-Y-S-S. And she wrote this paragraph on intuition that I love. She says, "Many times I am asked how to tell the difference between the voices of the imagination versus the ego versus the soul. Could they all sound the same? How do you know which voice is truly the right one when you're making a major life decision?" She says, actually, it's not difficult at all. In fact, it's easy. Your intuition is relentless and cannot be budged from its position, whereas the ego can be talked into or out of anything. For example, if your intuition tells you that you must pursue training as a healer, no human being on this earth could truly talk you out of that feeling. You could be talked out of following the feeling, but you could never be talked out of recognizing the feeling. So you can have that deep inner knowing that a move is the right thing to do. You can't be talked out of your inner knowing, but you can be talked out of making the decision to follow it or not. You can also talk yourself out of following that inner knowing. You can let your fear talk you out of it. My final tip is to choose to be curious. Be curious about how things are going to work out. Instead of being scared, what might happen if I move, or if I make this change, or if I do that, or if I say yes to going on a date, or if I join a book club, or if I get a dog. Instead of following that train of thought, choose to be curious. What might happen? What could happen if I do this? If I get a dog, am I going to like it? I have no idea. I better try it and find out. If I get a camper van, am I going to enjoy it? Or is it going to be a huge waste of time, money, and effort? I don't know, but I'm curious to find out. Borrow some of my curiosity. I have so much, I have lots to share. So just be curious about what the next stage of your life might bring. Make one little decision at a time. Get still. Listen to that inner voice, your intuition, and be curious about what might happen. Who knows? Take good care of yourself, because you are worth taking good care of.